So we're going to look at electroplating, and we can electroplate with various materials, so the raw materials will depend on what we want to get electroplated onto our object. And these objects could be anything. They could be a ring, they could be some alloys for your car, or anything really. These metals will come generally from abroad, and obviously you have to pay for them. Environmental impacts, as always with electrolysis, we're putting in a lot of electrical energy, so you're going to need to burn some coal or burn some gas, which is going to give off CO2. And so of course we've got transports here as well. We have to transport in the metals, and that may involve CO2 as well. So the products could be anything really. I could want to cover a nickel ring with silver if I were allergic to nickel. Maybe if I had a cheap watch made of iron, I would want to cover it in gold to make it look nicer, to make it more aesthetically pleasing. Sometimes you might want to electroplate an object, to electroplate it with a substance that is resistant to corrosion, so it will give your metal object a longer life really. So if we're going to look at copper sulfate, you can see I need to input some copper here. So I've got copper sulfate solution. I'm inputting the copper here. That copper is going to lose some electrons, it's going to turn it into an ion, and then if I put my object here, say it's my nickel ring, and those ions will pick up some electrons over here at the negative electrode, and they'll be deposited on my ring. Interestingly, it doesn't matter what salt you put in. You see here I've got copper sulfate, copper chloride, you'll get the same end result. The chloride ion doesn't do anything. It's not involved in the reaction at all really. It just sits there watching, so sometimes it's called a spectator ion. Yes. Now, interestingly, if you can use this process to cover your object in absolutely anything you want. If I want to cover my ring in silver here, all I need to do is to put in silver here, so this will be a silver electrode. The solid will lose electrons, it will produce silver ions, then the silver ions will travel over to my object and gain electrons and be deposited on it. So if I'm electroplating with silver, I need to use a silver salt and have a silver electrode, positive electrode. If I'm electroplating with copper, I need to make sure I've got a copper salt and I've got a positive copper electrode. So after looking at that now, I wonder if you could evaluate the use of electrolysis to electroplate.